Throwback to the 11th of April 2022. Good afternoon, everyone. It is now 12:42 p.m. and I have arrived at the Bow and it opens at 12 o'clock. So they open at 12, but they don't do any food until 5. So I'm now gonna go to my next destination, which is Tredegar Square. And if there are any restaurants on the way, then I'll go in. So I went into this original kitchen restaurant and I ordered a king size burger and a orange juice as it was £5. And I decided to treat myself because my pimples are a lot better now. So I just finished my lunch and I saw this really cool graffiti here and I think I'm gonna take a photo. Oh, so this is the Tredegar Square. I'm gonna see if there's anything by the end of the road. Oh, there's a little park here so I can fly my drone here and find out about the history of Tredegar Square. Tredegar Square is a well-preserved Georgian square in Mile End, and it is in the London borough of Tower Hamlets. The square has gardens in the center with lawns and large trees. The square took its name from the landowner, Sir Charles Morgan, 2nd Baronet Tredegar, and his family estate Tredegar House near Newport, South Wales. 1 block north of the square is the Lord Tredegar Public House, and 1 block east the Morgan Arms on Morgan Street. The south and west sides of the square were completed in the 1830s, and the rest by 1847. The industrial town of Tredegar, South Wales, also takes its name from the Tredegar estate, following the establishment in the area of the Tredegar Iron Company. This Tredegar Square conservation area was established in 1971, after the square had become neglected prior to World War II. The area surrounding it was badly damaged by bombing during the war. And that is all the information I found about this Tredegar Square. So now I will tell you a little history about why Mile End Station is called Mile End Station, as this Tredegar Square is actually near Mile End Station. So, Mile End's name derives from a hamlet first recorded in 1288. It grew up 1 mile from Aldgate. Mile End Road once formed the most imposing approach to London, and Wat Tyler assembled his followers here during the Peasants' Revolt of 1381. The first Jewish burial ground on Mile End Road was established in 1657 by permission of Oliver Cromwell and has been called one of the most hallowed spots for British Jewry. A beautiful Japanese cherry tree and a cypress cherry tree here, and I've took a photo with it. So my next destination is supposed to be this IKEA store bowl. It is actually a library, which is good because I need the toilet now. So it's just a normal library. There's nothing special about it. So I have arrived at Victoria Park, and I have been to this side of the park before, I think. But because I haven't been to this side of the park before, I wanted to come here again, and I want to see how far we can walk to. So there's a canal here. I feel like I'm gonna fly my drone here because everywhere else you can pretty much see it, except for the canal, you can't see it. And in this drone clip, I will be telling you about the history of Victoria Park. So the park was opened because there was a need for a park in the East End of London. It became apparent when the population grew rapidly in the early 19th century with the development of docks industry, and overcrowded housing. Without this park, it actually led to poor health and low life expectancy. And after this park was built, there was a report that published about the health rate rise and the higher life expectancy. The first official acknowledgement of the need for a park in the East End of London came in the 1839 annual report of the Registrar General of Births, Deaths and Marriage, which recorded a mortality rate far higher than for the rest of London, brought about by massive overcrowding in sanitary conditions and polluted air. The report stated a park in the East End of London would probably diminish the annual deaths by several thousands and add several years to the lives of the entire population. This was followed in 1840 by a petition to Queen Victoria, and that is why it is called Victoria Park, because Victoria permitted this park to be opened. This petition was signed by 30,000 local residents, urging the formation within the Tower Hamlets, because before this royal park, there were no open spaces in the East End of London, and there were fears that disease would spread from the stinking industries and slum population of 400,000 people. And this was the first public park to be built in London, specifically for people living in this area. The Act of Parliament passed in 1841 made it the first to be planned in the country, and indeed the first in the world, specifically intended to meet the needs of the surrounding communities. The government bought poor quality land that has been used for market gardens, grazing, and gravel digging. The land was flat with poor soil and little water, but was cheaper than an alternative and larger site. Of course, it's all about the money. But it turned out really beautiful, don't you think? In 1841, James Pettiform, architect to the Commissioners of Woods and Forests, prepared an initial design that included a grand entrance, a perimeter drive with elegant housing, and a parkland landscape. It was an instant success, with local people using the park as early as 1843, even before works were completed. And Pettiform's design underwent several changes, the first of which was to include a boating lake with 3 islands in the west of the park, which I guess is the one that I flew my drone in. In 1847, a pagoda, which had formed the entrance to the Chinese exhibition at Hyde Park Corner, was acquired and erected on the largest of the islands. Unfortunately, the magnificent and elaborate bridge designed by Pettiform was never built at the time. So there's a cafe here, and there's also a children's playground here. Also, that is a cool little object. I want to take a photo of it. Oh wow, there is a lake here. I'm gonna try and take a photo. Oh wow, there's some wildflower leaves here, and with that pink tree in the background, this is gonna be a nice photo. Wow, so there is a little orchard garden here. So there's a old English garden park. It is full of spurges, and I wonder if I keep walking there where it will lead me to. So I asked a passerby. They said this side goes to Hackney Wick, but I want to go back to the start of the park. Wow, look at these garden tulips. I'm gonna take a photo with them. Oh, and there's also a lake here. I think I'm gonna take a photo here. So the bystands are there, but I vividly remember I have been into that garden. I remember flying my drone there, so I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna walk back to the Old Fort Road entrance now. So I'm walking to Bromley-By-Bow Park now. And look at this huge dandelion. I'm gonna take a photo here. Oh, there is a bow quarter here. Oh, so this is the Grove Hall Park. Oh wow, there's another beautiful Japanese cherry tree here. And I might fly my drone inside there and find out why Bromley-By-Bow is called Bromley-By-Bow. Bromley is a corruption of Old English words meaning woodland clearing with brambles, and the extended name avoids confusion with its South London namesake. It was earlier known as Bromley St. Leonard, after the Benedictine Priory of St. Leonard, which I did go to, once the oldest religious house in East London. After the dissolution of the monasteries, the manor was granted to Sir Ralph Sadler, Principal Secretary of State to Henry VII. The British Museum holds his account of the estate's properties, drawn up in 1514. By this time, Bow had gained ascendancy over Bromley, but the latter became a popular place to build rural retreats from the early 17th century. A range of 4 tenements with a center chapel, the Drapers' Almshouses were built in 1706. A hunting lodge that stood on what is now St. Leonard's Street was said to have been built by James I, later known as the Old Palace. The building was split into 2 residences in 1715. From the 1820s, Bromley began to fill with noxious industries and workers' housing, some built by charities, some by profiteering jerry builders. 8 gas holders were constructed in 1872. One was destroyed by a bomb in the Second World War, and the surviving 7 have stood unused for many years. Christopher Costello, director of the Victorian Society, says, "The group value of so many Victorian gas holders packed together is unmatched anywhere else in the world, making the Bromley-By-Bow gas holder a true symbol for the Industrial Revolution." The Victorian Society included the group on its 2018 Top 10 Endangered Buildings list. Much of Bromley was a slum by the late 19th century, and it became an early target for civic improvement. Bromley Public Hall was built on Bow Road in 1818 as the vestry hall for St. Leonard's Parish. It now serves as Tower Hamlets Register Office. The replacement of the Old Palace by a school in 1894 caused an outcry and played a pivotal role in promoting future, often unsuccessful attempts to preserve East London's heritage. I've never seen this leather leaf viburnum anywhere, so I'm gonna take a photo here. And there are some cool Mexican orange flowers here, which I also want to take a photo with. Oh, so this nunnery gallery was actually on my list. Oh, but it's closed. Because when I got there, it was already 5 p.m. and it closed at 4. So I'm still walking to Bromley-By-Bow, and I walked past this St. Leonard's Priory, and I realized it was founded by William the Conqueror, and it was the inspiration for the Priory's character in William Chaucer's Canterbury Tales. And it basically looks like this. Oh, so these 3 buildings are the Free Mill Hills Island. Oh, hang on. I think one of the mills is here. This is the Cock Mill. There's a Free Mills Park here, and there's a hand over there. But there's nothing special about this park. So I'm not gonna fly my drone. No, there's a statue of a woman holding her phone. Whoa, why are there so many tubes parked here? So I've now arrived at Westham Park, and this park is actually this big, and I've just had a read of the whole notice board, and I feel like I might fly my drone view to Canary Wharf. So I was asking a passerby how long it will take to walk around the whole park. He said around like 30 to 45 minutes, and he told me that the biggest part of the park is this ornamental garden, and he said there's no such thing as a view to Canary Wharf, so I think that might just be a football pitch. So I think I might try and fly my drone here. And in this drone clip, I will be telling you the history of Westham Park. Westham Park has a rich and diverse cultural history spanning back over 400 years. In 2004, English Heritage awarded the site Grade 2 status on the Register of Parks and Gardens of Special Historic Interest. Documents relating to the park date back to 1566, when the site was originally part of the Uptown House estate. Earlier records show that the estate was much smaller than the present park, but in 1559, William Rooke inherited and enlarged it to 28 acres, and then sold it to the Smith family in 1666, who remained the owners until the mid-18th century. In 1752, the estate was bought by Admiral Elliot, a successful naval officer, who sold it 10 years later to Dr. John Fothergill, a physician and Quaker. When Fothergill bought the Uptown estate in Westham, he enlarged it to about 80 acres, larger than the present Westham Park, and embarked on plant collection and soon became a world-famous botanist. Fothergill would often waive medical fees from wealthier patients, preferring payments in rare plants instead. A greenhouse and hothouses, then less common than now, were added, and many more species flourished on the open ground. As a significant figure in local history, Fothergill Close in Plaistow was named after him. Fothergill died in 1780, and for the next 6 years, Uptown House, now renamed Ham House, and it remained in the hands of his executors. In 1786, another Quaker, James Shepherd, bought the estate, and when he died in 1812, it passed to his son-in-law, the banker Samuel Gurney. Later, his sister Elizabeth Fry and her husband lived from 1829 to 1845 in another house on the estate, Upton Lane House, which is currently the location of the Territorial Army Center. And in 1842, royalty visited the estate when Elizabeth Fry entertained Frederick William IV, King of Prussia. The public house in Stratford, now known as the Edward VII, was originally called the King of Prussia in memory of this, but changed its name at the start of World War I. Wow, there are some bunch flower daffodils here. I'm gonna take a photo with them. Wow, there are some rhododendrons and azaleas here. Oh my gosh, look at this huge Japanese cherry tree. I have to take a photo here. I nearly missed this beautiful part of the ornamental garden. I'm gonna take a photo here with these peacocks. There's also a little seating area here. So I think I'm gonna end this vlog here because I officially walked around the whole park, and the sunset time is right now. So I'm gonna head back to Plaistow Station. If you enjoyed this vlog, don't forget to subscribe, like, share it with your friends, and thanks for watching!